Welcome to the metric system of measurement video lesson. Alright, so I'm going to explain to you how the metric system works. And first of all, just a couple of informations for you. It has been created about 200 years ago by a group of French scientists to simplify measurement. So you will see that there is also different ways of measuring things, but we came up with that system because it was easier. So there's always one basic unit of measure. For the length, we call it meter. For the weight, or the mass, we can say, it's gram. For the capacity, liter. And then you go from a bigger one to the smaller one, and it's always in groups of 10. So either you multiply by 10 or you divide by 10 to find a bigger or smaller unit. That's why it's easier, because we work with tens, just like the place value chart. Alright. Now, just a couple of informations for you. In the United States, they don't use the metric system. So, for example, if you're watching football on the NFL league, the football on TV, you will notice that they are talking about yards. You could hear also about miles. If you're driving down to the United States, they are driving miles, not kilometers. The weight is pound. They measure things with a foot, or they will say, I am 6'4", which is not my case, but you can hear also a gallon of something, like the red container here where you can put gas. So that are all measures used in the United States. But we use the metric system. You also have the other system that we call the imperial units. So that's the name of the system in the United States. But here we call it the metric system. So as you can see on a ruler here, we have inches. But if we flip it the other way around, then you will see centimeters. So this is our system. Alright, the metric system is much easier because all the metric units are related by factors of 10. As I just said to you, we multiply or we divide by 10. Nearly the entire world, 95% of the world except the United States, now uses the metric system. Metrics is also used in science. And because the metric system uses units rated by factors of 10, and the types of unit, distance, area, volume, and mass, it's really easier for you to understand it. So we have three different units: meter, gram, and liter. Interesting fact, as I just said about the United States here, you can compare, for example, 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeter, 1 foot is 0.305 meters, 6 feet, for example, is 1.83 meters. So as you can see, Mr. Tall here, okay. Now let's go back to our metric system. You have a table like that in your math glossary. I gave it to you in class. Now let's understand it. So in the middle, you have the basic unit. So if you are talking about length, we are using meter. If you are talking about mass, you use gram. If you're talking about capacity, liter. So we have three different things. So if we measure a distance, we're measuring length. And that is the distance, the measure that we are used to work with at school. So, for example, the chart here works with the basic unit compared to the rest. So, if you just look at the words, deci means 10 times less. So you would divide by 10 to get that from the basic unit. Centi, you can refer to the French word cent for 100. So centi is 100 times less than the basic unit. And milli is like the French word mille, if you want. So 1,000 times less. So you would divide by 1,000 from the basic unit. And it goes the same way for the bigger units, but it will be times 10 for deca, hecto, and kilometer. For example, kilometer will be 1,000 meter. So it's 1,000 more. There is 1,000 meter in 1 kilometer. Yeah, that's 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. So you need to remember all the chart, but it's not going to be so complicated. There's a little trick here you can remember, a little sentence. Here you can remember that King Henry died while drinking chocolate milk. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's funny, and maybe it will help you remembering the words. Kilometer, hectometer, decameter, decimeter, centimeter, millimeter. The while is just the one in the middle, so it will be grams, meter, or liter, depending on what you're measuring. Otherwise, just remember that the basic unit is in the middle, of course, and there are 3 on the right, 3 on the left. You already know decimeter, centimeter, millimeter. So the ones on the right, because we work with that a lot in school, and you probably know kilometer at the other end. So you just miss 2, hecto, and deca. They are not commonly used. With that chart here, we're going to convert measures. Alright, so I'm going to give you a couple of examples. If, for example, I say 1 kilometer, I can put 1 here on my chart. I want to know how many meters there are in 1 kilometer. I will remember that the basic unit is meter for the length. So I will just add the 0 until I'm in the column for meters. So now I know that 1,000 meter is equal to 1 kilometer. I could continue and compare 1 kilometer to, let's say, centimeter. So I will add the 0. And now I stop where the centimeter are. And I realize that in 1 kilometer, I have 100,000 centimeter. Okay? That is not so difficult. If I have a decimal in my measure, for example, 12.5 meters, 12.5. Since I said meters for the units, the dot will go after that unit. So the column here is meter. So I will say 12 meters and a half. That's why I put my dot after meter. Okay? 12.5. Now, I want to know how many, for example, how many centimeter is that? I will just move the dot that is right here. I will move it after centimeter because now I want to find centimeter. If I move it like that, it will now be here. I will need to add a 0, and now I discovered that it is equal to 1,250 centimeter. So 12.5 meter is equal to 1,250 centimeter. Same example, but the other way around. How many kilometers is equal to 12.5 meters? Okay, I'm pretty sure that you understood already. So we are going to move the dot to the left. It's a bigger unit, so the answer will be smaller because kilometer represents a larger unit than meter. So I'm moving it, so I divide by 10, 100, 1,000. So the dot will go here. And I add the zero that are missing. Now I know that 12.5 meters is equal to 0.0125 kilometer. Pretty small when you look at that. Okay, so that is how you can use the chart. Try to remember also the thing about the vocabulary words that will help. Deci 10 times less, deca 10 times more, centi 100 times less, milli 1,000 times less, and kilo is 1,000 times bigger. Because you're dealing with multiples of 10, you do not have to calculate anything. All you have to do is to move the decimal point or the dot. But you need to understand what you're doing when you move the decimal point. So when you will move to the right, you will multiply, and when you move to the left, you will divide. So as you can see, there are a lot of things in real life related to